of the European leaders doing coke, because why put focus on those bourgeois fucks? I prefer to put focus on more on activists, real activists like Greta Thunberg,
Yeah.
who's being called a white savior now, which is ridiculous. I mean, we'll get into that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, she was just released, right? I thought she was still
Yeah,
held.
it's her, Baptiste Andre, Omar Fafinde. I can't pronounce his name. Omar Fafinde. If you hear this, I apologize for saying your name incorrectly. And Sergio
You might have been lucky and had it right.
Torbino.
Yeah, Sergio. He's a Spaniard. Yeah.
Sergio.
No, you don't pronounce it Gio like in Italian. So
Okay.
the G in Spanish is like an H. Sergio.
Yep. Okay, got you.
But you got the last name correct. It is Torbino.
Okay.
I'm glad you didn't say Torbino.
So we have to keep the watch on the remaining 8 who are still detained by the IDF in their country.
Choice, I believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, because know there's always conflicting reports. But initial reports said that they were given a choice to either, was it Ashdod? Ashdod is a port that's near Gaza. I think it's where they forced them to bring their vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they stole the supplies on board, the baby formula.
Of course,
it's a security risk.
Of course.
But Ashdod, they gave them the choice to either fly out of Tel Aviv immediately back to their countries, or back wherever they wanted to go, or go to court. And I think court was in Jerusalem. So the 8 remaining are saying, you know what, let's fight this. Let's go to Jerusalem, which I think is a good tactic, because they're going to keep up the protest. There's massive protests, for example, in France, right? I believe that's one of the countries they sent Greta to. They had a French parliamentarian. Do you know if the French parliamentarian was let go yet?
No, I don't believe so. But I agree, because there's also another caravan that is a coalition
coming from Algeria. Yes, last I
Yes.
heard, they're in North Africa. They left Algeria. They're in Tunisia on the way to Egypt, and from Egypt they'll try to go to Rafah, to the border with Gaza, to come in. Okay, that's a good list right there. Detained and deported. So Rima is still detained. That's the French parliamentarian. What she's doing is very intelligent. She's keeping up the pressure by deciding to stay in Israel. That's excellent. Let me grab a charger for my computer. I'll be right back.
No problem. And it's perfect that they are imposing this and staying, because the caravan is coming that we just talked about, and that's going to bring more tension right now, because people are trying to say, oh, Greta is a white savior and all this nonsense. Greta actually helped. This will go down in history. We're going to read about this in history books, just like how we learned about the Nazis in history books. She's going to be one of the catalysts with doing this that's going to apply more pressure, because you see a lot of activists are now also a part of it. And this was all planned. I don't know who started the plan. I don't know if it was Greta's team or if it was somebody else in the Middle East. Whoever started this plan, it's a very good plan. And I'm very happy that they are doing these caravans and they are showing up to expose Israel for saying that, oh, Hamas is the ones that's not feeding. When we're seeing videos.
Well, didn't they have, was it the defense minister Katz? The new defense minister, the old defense minister has an arrest warrant against him from the ICC. But Minister Katz came out and said, when we capture these flotilla terrorists, we're going to force them to watch the footage from the Hamas
they did that,
on October 7th. And he's like that won't make any difference in their minds. None of that justifies what's going on in Gaza. But they just think force propaganda on these young people is going to somehow change their mind. That's the arrogance of Zionism.
Yeah, they think that showing them the video like they showed Elon Musk, that they're going to actually like change their ways. We are well aware.
They show Elon.
When Elon went on the tour, they had they didn't even, what's crazy? What's the
tour in Israel?
Yeah, he went on a tour in Israel because remember, he was against at first. He was actually subliminally being pro-Palestinian, subliminally. And then as soon as he went to Israel,
his father, interestingly enough, is pro-Russian. His father was just in Moscow. I don't know if he's left already. And the irony is that George Galloway, who's a Scottish, Irish socialist,
he's cringe.